again. I am Gary Gatto, and welcome back to RaceVerse coverage of round 2 of season 2 of 22. Man, it's a lot of twos. The deuces are wild here. Of the RaceVerse Formula Indy Series coming to you from Circuit Imola for the Imola Grand Prix, sponsored by Midwest Kidney Warriors. Joining me for expert analysis in the booth, he's my partner from the Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split, or excuse me, the 4D Raceware Monday Night Indy Fix Top Split race coverage from the NHR eSport team in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by Butt Kicker. Please welcome Stephen Larkamp. So, Stephen, conserve or not to conserve? That is the question. What's the answer?
Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome to Italy. And yeah, that is a big question mark we have here tonight at Imola. Looking at the fuel mileage considerations for everyone, it's a 41-lap race here tonight. And of course, we will need to change tires onto or off from the hard and the soft compound tires. And there is a window here. The window for fuel is expected to be about 17 laps. And that means we're looking around 6 laps where the drivers are going to be running on res. That seems to be like the threshold they're looking at. The question here is, can you save a little bit more to get an extra lap in, maybe run fewer laps on reds? Or is that not going to be something you're looking for? We saw it last week at Le Mans that was definitely possible. We'll see what they can do here tonight at Imola.
Well, as you see, we're about 6 minutes, 40 seconds or so remaining in qualifying. We'll get some provisional numbers up here for you. And
on that provisional.
Yeah, go ahead, right ahead. You pick it right up.
Yeah, on the provisional poll so far is the number 7 machine of Hector Alvarez. Alvarez has been very fast tonight in practice. I don't believe we saw him last week at Circuit de la Sarthe, but making up for lost time, it would certainly seem he is on the pole with a 126.058. And alongside him right now, the winner last week at Le Mans, Mitch Welkers, number 76.
Yeah, give you some comparison of speeds between these IR18 Indy cars with the aero screens on them versus the little bit lighter Formula 1 cars with not, I guess, the full screen, just the bar there, the halo. The pole record here at Imola is a 113.609 set in 2020 by Valtteri Bottas. So as you see here, and we were talking about this in the pre-race, it's about 13 seconds difference, which is pretty significant between IndyCar and Formula 1 here. Where do you think the big difference is? Where is Formula 1 making up time on the Indy cars on this track if you were to take a look at it from a blimp shot above? Would it be in the corners? Because the straights, I guess it would be much of a push.
Well, it's kind of both in many ways. The corners here, you obviously have a lot more downforce in the F1 cars, and they're lighter, so that also facilitates it as well. But straightaway speed in the F1 car is very considerable as well. You're touching about 200 miles an hour going down the front straightaway into the Tamburello chicane. Whereas tonight here with the Indy cars, Hector Alvarez had a look at his straight line speeds during his qualifying run. He's touching about 180 miles an hour by the time he gets on the brakes for turns 1 and 2, the chicane at Tamburello. So F1 cars simply seem to have the advantage in a lot of areas, and that's where 13 seconds is made up here. They also let's not forget, F1 cars not only are lighter and more downforce, they also have more power. Indy cars here with the 2.2 liter V6 turbos, they're making about 700 horsepower at maximum. F1 cars over 1,000.
Well, there you see, we do have a picture of the track map, since this is normally not a track that Indy cars go to. In fact, Indy cars have never raced here. It would be cool to see them possibly race here in the future someday, especially if maybe, I don't know, a Ferrari or somebody gets involved in the series. But until then, we have iRacing to keep our curiosity cured and fed, I guess. But about 3 minutes 40 seconds remaining here in qualifying. Your top 4 have not changed. Bruno Miranda is slotted in at top in P5. there in his Yukos eSport entry. Johnston in P6, the Turk P7, Alex Van de Sant P8. My good friend Gavin Sanders there in P9, and Kites Bommersbach in P10. Man, I mean, normally when you watch coverage from all our other races, plus if you watch any of the Lionheart, this is literally a who's who of IndyCar racing almost across the community in the top 10 here. This is a pretty stout top 10, and I think this says a lot about how far this league has come.
No doubt about that. There is certainly a lot of faces I have come to know in the IndyCar community, and not one of those familiar faces are any driver I would call a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. You have a lot of solid competition here tonight, a lot of challenging courses, and a car that we obviously all enjoy. So it just goes to show just what a good combo of drivers can do, especially when it's as well put together as the Formula Indy Series is becoming, especially for people who love to do more road racing than they do left turns.
Got a little time left here before we go to real quick 5-minute warm-up where we get a chance to read tonight's starting lineup. Hey, Steven, would it surprise you that more than half everyone tonight watching right now has not subscribed to this channel?
Mamma mia! I had no idea.
Is that spicy? Yeah. Well,
my terrible Mario impression aside.
Yeah. According to YouTube Analytics, 50.9% of you are not subscribers. So let's change that right now. Help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy RaceVerse coverage of the Formula Indy Series and you respect the weekly stream, please do us a solid and make sure you support us by subscribing. We have about 140 subscribers to go to get to the magical 1,000 mark. So help us by smashing that subscribe button right now. We can't get there without you. And while you're at it, don't forget, smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future iRacing broadcasts. So at about minute 15 here, we will shortly get into it here at Imola.
Once again, still with about 1 minute to go in qualifying. It seems like everyone has indeed completed their runs. And looking at everything, with 36 cars signed up tonight, that means one of them is going home. And unfortunately, that one seems to be Dakota DeMay. Unfortunately, he was looking to do a start and park anyway due to commitments that he had to do, but he wanted to sign up and maybe get the points, but sadly, looks as though he is going to get bumped for his trouble. He wasn't going to start the race anyway. It was going to be a start and park, as I said. But sad to see that. It was sad that things conflicted for him, but at least he gave an effort to show up for the participation.
And there's his teammate right there, Gavin Sanders, out getting some extra time there in the green plaid livery. So we are getting ready now to look at tonight's starting lineup, and we will bring that up on our screen here very shortly.
And as they head out for warm-up, we have, and as you said before, the qualifying results are in. On the pole, the number 7 of Hector Alvarez will lead the field away. Alongside him, the championship leader and winner last time out at Le Mans, Mitch Welker in the number 76. This league has been pretty good to rookies. Let's see if he can keep up that trend tonight. Nate Siefker, the series champion from a couple of seasons back, will start P3 in row number 2 alongside Christopher Hills, number 17. Bruno Miranda in the number 77 for Jonkos, a driver that we, of course, have become very familiar with on the Monday night broadcast. He will start 5th in row number 3 alongside the 28 of Nick Johnston. The winningest driver in this series still hasn't been quite enough to secure a championship. Maybe that can turn around. Michael de Turk will start in P7 in the number 40 alongside the 97 of Alex Van de Sant. Row 5 will be Gavin Sanders in the number 10 and Kite Bommersbach in the number 30, rounding out the top 10. All these names up here, very, very strong competitors on road courses. Ricardo Echevarria in the number 33 will start 11th alongside the 35 of Matthew Short, P12. Row number 7 will be Jose Ramirez in the number 75 alongside the 21 of Caleb Bensi. Row 8, Liam Quinn's number 24, another old familiar name, alongside the 31 of Cody Claiborne. Row number 9 will be Pedro Quinones in the number 32. I'm probably butchering that one. Alongside the number 6 of Robert Sadler, another rookie in the series. And row number 10 will be Angel Ledesma in the number 016, alongside the 25 of Jeff Groff. That is your top 20. Logan Spath in the number 3 will be starting alongside the 06 of Kevin Rivera on row 11. Row 12 will be Joshua Tucker in the 101 alongside the 99 of Rodrigo Munoz, 23rd and 24th. Row 13, Cristobal Valenzuela's number 36, another name we've seen before, alongside the 38 of Ryan Hardinge. And Christian Jasper and Zachary Plum, numbers 44 and 20, will be lining up on row 14. Row 15, Chris Stouffer's number 13, alongside the 96 of Frankie Francicia, I should say. Daniel Miglin's number 4 will be alongside the 98 of Victor Aldrich on row 16. Row 17, Matt Houston's number 66 alongside the 5 of Julian Mador. And shotgun on the field, the last of the drivers that will be kept in the field for bumping will be Drew White in number 15. And as we said before, Dakota DeMay bumped out in P36. He was going to do a start in park anyway, so really, no harm, no foul as far as he's concerned. As everyone going out for their warm-up laps, a lot of drivers seem to be running on the hard compound tire. I'm seeing Nick Johnston on blacks. I'm seeing Alvarez, Welker, a lot of drivers trying out the hard compound tire. Alex Van de Sant on the reds. Now, not too certain if this is going to be an indicator of what tires they are in fact going to start on, but it'll be interesting to see the tire strategies play out. Do you go on reds early or do you go on reds late?
Well, are we looking at, let's just be real here. Are we looking at 2 stops or 3 stops?
It will certainly be a 2-stop race as far as I see. Maybe if you get 18 laps in on each stint, that's still going to be 5 more laps you'd need to get to the checkered flag. So 2 stops is definitely going to be the order of the day. So these guys are gonna, and of course you have to change tire compounds anyway, so it's gonna be depending on what sort of fuel mileage they can get on the hard compound tires to minimize their run on reds. And also another consideration I have here is the track temperature. We're starting here in the middle of the day. Track temp right now is 118 degrees, and it could be liable to get hotter as the run goes on. So it's possible that we see more drivers start on reds than you would expect. With the hotter track temp to come, the black tires will be more favorable.
Is it even an option to go prime and then the reds for that very last final stint if you do make it a 3-stopper?
It could be, and I wouldn't be surprised, and we'll see in a second if that is indeed what a few of them are going to try, or indeed a strategy where you go black, red, black, where you start on the hard compound, you do only a short sprint and get the reds done in the middle of the race, and then go on the blacks for the final stint once more. That's actually something we've seen drivers in the Lionheart IndyCar Series do as well. We'll be seeing what they can do with that. Alvarez indeed starting on the blacks, Welker on reds, and having a look and see where, and look to see who else will start on what. I see Christopher Hill, Miranda, Johnston on blacks, DeTurk and Van de Sant on the reds. So this will be an interesting call here as Siefker, also on blacks, gets himself gridded up. getting ready to set off here at Imola. Be interesting to see how the game plays out.
Gavin Sanders is not loaded in yet, so he has not declared what tire he's going to start on.
I see him now on blacks. As the Reds come up to the standing start, green flag flies. We are racing in Emilia-Romagna. Alvarez away well. Welker trying to get the launch there. Good start from him. Siepker looking to the inside as they head to Tamburello.
And the cameras are not working for me at all.
Clean start so far, though, thankfully, as they make their way out of Tamburello into the Villeneuve chicane, the second of the two chicanes. Alvarez still under pressure from Welker. Welker's got to make the red tires work quickly. Into the Tosa they go. Welker had a look, not quite there yet. Welker still sticking with it there as Siepker had a little bit of a bobble there. Hill gets past him for P3.
And a bit of a fail in the overlay. We're catching up here. We'll get the camera changed here momentarily once we get that all taken care of.
Welker still right up on the gearbox of Alvarez through Acqua Minerale. Up towards the Variante Alta, the chicane at the top of the hill. Welker still having a bit of a peak there. He needs to make these tires work while he can. He's definitely going to be coming in early to get these tires off and run blacks for the rest of the race. These are the money laps right now for the 76's strategy. But Alvarez still holding on as they come out of the Variante Bassa for the final time. Down the front straightaway, through the Rebazza, I should say. Down the front stretch. Welker getting on the throttle, gets on the push to pass, and he does indeed clear Alvarez going into Tamburello on lap 2. Just what he needs.
Yeah, definitely with those red tires, got to get around them. You got to make your time now, because after a while, which is a good question here to ask you. You are a bit of a road course racing expert, much more than I am, anyways. About what the fall off is for the red tires. How many laps did we say?
Well, with fuel mileage being what it is, around 6 is about 6 or 7 laps is what we're looking at as the threshold for drivers to come in. If you're able to save a little bit more, good for you, and you're able to come in a little bit earlier, because more often than not with these Indy cars, the hard compound tire is the preferable one, especially with track temps as high as they are, and the track temp is going up to 119 right now. So that is something that a lot of guys are going to be considering. You need to make your passes now on the reds to come in around lap 6 or 7 and then come in and run the hard compound for the rest of the race, which will be a lot more stable. And another driver on the reds is Michael de Turk, who's made a great start so far. Started 7th, now running 5th, and running right behind Nate Siepker, who's had a bit of a struggle there. I think he lost the position to Christopher Hill coming out of the Tosa on lap 1. So de Turk can probably smell an opportunity to claw up as many spots as he can before, like Welker, he has to come in early for his stop.
Yeah, the Turk in the plain white wrapper as shown right there. Definitely looking for a sponsor. If you're watching and want to throw a little bit of sponsorship money a driver's way, that's pretty competitive so far early on in this season. I would take a look here at Michael de Turk there. His car is wide open for anybody that wants to get their logo on a car. It's going to be up front for at least the early portion of this race, and with the way that he's shown even during the preseason race, he's going to be up front all season long.
And he had a strong performance at Le Mans as well. So as a guy with a business degree, I can say, and I'm not trying to give a little business advice here on the fly, but perhaps a good sponsorship opportunity is at hand if you throw and put your logo on the number 40 machine tonight. But he's still got to make up the time to get around Siepker, and likewise is Alex Van de Sant, who's gained a spot already, and he's all over the gearbox of Nicholas Johnston. He's also started on the reds too. So once again, Van de Sant has got to make up the time early.
Van de Sant, one of your points leader in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by Butt Kicker. I think he had a race at Most Sport that he'd rather forget, but he is definitely putting that behind him here at Imola in the RaceVerse Formula Indy Series, getting the pass there on Johnson, and now looking to get on another position as he moves up on the Turk.
Good move by Alex Van de Sant, and as you said, he's got Michael de Turk, who's being held up, it would seem, by Nate Siepker. Siepker doing a good job holding on to that position, even with the long front straightaway to consider. De Turk really has to try and make up this position now, not just for his strategy to work out, but to lose a position to Van de Sant, who, as expected, is well and truly on the move. And considering the start that Van de Sant, de Turk, and Welker have had, on the flip side of the coin there is Bruno Miranda, who's had a pretty rough start. He started P5 down to 8th, lost a few spots so far, and he has started on the black, so a couple of drivers, including de Turk and Van de Sant, have jumped in with the faster tires. We'll see what Miranda can pull to get back up there, and unfortunately, some early casualties of the night are being reported. Zachary Falm and Kite Bommersbach, who started 10th. I'm not sure what happened to Kite, but that is a rough one for a driver. I've raced a lot against him, and I know he's a really good driver. Sad to see him out early in the going.
Gavin Sanders moving up a spot to 18th.
Sanders had a really rough start, it seems.
He did. He did.
18.
I'm not sure if he's damaged right now and had to didn't have to stop. So he did start 9. He's down 9 spots, but you know, these starts are sometimes very hairy, and we've literally seen in just about every season here of the Formula Indy. Oh, getting squirrely there. Oh, we got a car off. This looks like one of the backfire guys back there. In P22, that's Cristobal Valenzuela. But we're watching also one of the backfire guys here chasing Gavin Sanders. This is Rodrigo Munoz. But we've seen a number of times that even getting through these starts is a very big challenge, and maybe Gavin just took it very easy.
Perhaps so, and though it doesn't seem to have worked too well for him as well, and that's one thing to consider, is that we had a standing start here. IndyCar is not exactly a category that's known for standing starts, both in iRacing and in real life. They did try it in real life for a time, not just Champ Car in the mid-2000s, but they also tried it in, I believe it was 2015, when they tried standing starts on road courses. But of course, they dropped it after a little while. And the road course, the standing start here, a lot of these guys may not be entirely used to it. It's always a bit of a wild card, especially with a category not too familiar with it. If these guys have raced something like, say, F1 or F3, these guys may be a little bit more used to it. They may be wanted to try some practice starts as well, and that may well be what a few of these guys may want to try.
Back at 13th, this is the biggest gainer, one of the biggest gainers of the race thus far, up in 13th spot here. Angel Leedsma, he is currently worked his way up 6 spots. Going back a little bit further, Ryan Harding here in P20, just see him rounding the corner there. He is up 6 spots. Hey, Frankie with the last name that we have a hard time saying, he has worked his way up 9 spots. From his starting spot up to 21st, and Victor Aldrich, who started deep in the field, was worked his way up 8 spots. Still, a number of cars are showing have hit pit road for some form or another. Logan Spath has hit pit road, possibly. It looks like it was for 8.4 second to stop, so possibly for a wing change. Right behind him in one of the IAA cars is Christopher. He also hit pit road. Looks like might have had a wing change. Drew White started shotgun in the field. He has hit the pit road already. Looks like he possibly had a wing change already. Kevin Rivera on pit road with a bit more of a lengthy stop. Right now, not showing even in the car at the moment, but he has been in the pit road for about 1:40. Joshua Tucker right behind him just got there not too long ago. He is there for a lengthy stop. So a little bit of attrition is starting to weed down this 35-car field.
And a little bit of drama I'm actually seeing in the battle for 6th position. Johnston, Miranda, and Van de Sant. There was actually contact between Miranda and Van de Sant going into the final 2 corners there. And Van de Sant does he have a meatball flag? Because he was told to, because he does have one of his laps was deleted. No, he doesn't. Thankfully, he does not have a meatball flag. Just had to slow down and give up some track position. They blacklisted his lap the last time there, but he has lost 2 positions to Johnston and Miranda. So his strategy seems to be going up in cinders right now so far. Of course, a long ways to go here, but Van de Sant will probably be coming in pretty soon, switching to the hard compound and running that for the rest of the race. We'll keep an eye on that as it goes, but lap number 7, Welker up to a 2.6 second lead, I should say, over Hector Alvarez. And even still, after all this time, Welker is still turning faster lap times than the hard compound runners behind him.
If you're just joining us, this is RaceVerse coverage of the Formula Indy Series coming to you from Imola, where we have completed 8 of a scheduled 41 laps. If you're enjoying RaceVerse coverage of tonight's race and like to support us best you can, make sure to smash like and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell while you're at it to get weekly reminders of other iRacing programming here on RaceVerse. Thanks for watching. And we got a long race still ahead of us. Got about 10 laps to go or so before we start seeing the first of the pit stops. And then we'll start seeing some of these strategies unfold a little bit. Liam Quinn having a moment. He is back in the field. Looks like he's getting some extended service done on pit road. Back to 28th now.
I see no front wing on that number 24 machine. Not too certain what happened. Actually, I'm seeing it right now. It was contact with the 35 machine of Matthew Short through the Tamburello chicane. So Quinn to the inside there. I think he dripped out a little bit wide there, and Short, I don't think, had much of a place to go in that instance.
Well, I'm sure it'll be under review after the race. I don't believe there were, at least I don't remember seeing a race report from Le Mans. Hope everyone enjoyed Le Mans coverage last week, but I don't see
game on for 5th place.
Let's take a look back here. Well, let's take a look, and we got a bit of a not a DRS train, but definitely these guys are all even. Oh, look how far Bruno gets into that braking zone.
And Johnston almost runs into the back of Bruno Miranda. Miranda can smell blood in the water. Michael DeTurk struggling a little bit, it would seem, on those worn-out reds. As we're getting closer and closer to the crossover point where the hard compound is going to be quicker. Miranda looking to take advantage of that, but he's also got Nick Johnston and Alex Van de Sant to contend with behind him. Johnston also on the blacks, Van de Sant on the reds. These guys have got to make moves and got to be making moves pretty quick here, and maybe making the Turk scared a little bit. The Turk has got to play some major defense here to hold on to that top 5.
Yeah, if I'm the Turk and I look at my rearview mirror and I see Miranda, Johnson, and Van de Sant, 3 of probably the top, easily the top 50 road course racers here in all of the service. He sends it. They keep it off each other, but he just cannot keep up the pace, and it's just going to be a train following him right on through. Here comes Johnson. Johnson's thinking about taking it 3 wide.
3 wide. 3 wide down the front stretch here. Johnston, can he get both of them? He does clear to Turk. The Turk backs out there, and he allows Van de Sant by. Still side by side going into the Tamburello. Miranda to the inside there. Johnston out wide open.
He takes out Van de Sant.
Johnston and Van de Sant are wrecked. Johnston trying to recover. So does Van de Sant. Van de Sant has a broken front wing. That may be game over for Alex Van de Sant. He does indeed have a meatball flag. That is going to be a pit for repairs. Johnston trying to recover, but I'm sure he's got damage as well, as he's got Ledesma behind him.
Yeah, and Ledesma's looking to the inside here, and Johnson's still under power. He has a messed up left front wing for sure. He looks like he hits some of those sleeping policemen. A lot of people call them sausages. I like to call them sleeping policemen. But looks like he hit some of those curbs, and it just launched him right into poor Alex. And Alex, I got to admit, Alex was a bit of a, even though he was engaged, he was a bit of an innocent bystander there.
Sad to see that, and it was a good battle going on, but Two cars fighting for the same real estate, especially there at Tamburello, as the likes of Daniel Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz would tell you, as Van de Sant spears off into the grass at the Variante Alta as he's trying to limp that 97 back to the pits. It just does not seem to have been Van de Sant's week, it would seem. First Mosport in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, and now this. What kind of luck does Van de Sant have? Seems to be pretty bad so
the Turk
far.
on pit road. He says, "I've tired." Oh, misses the spot, but he is tired of the red tires. He is switching right now. There is Van de Sant coming down pit road in the background, right behind him. That is Cody Claiborne in the fish car. He is coming down pit road. Looks like that might be a regular scheduled stop for Cody. We'll take a look there. Don't see any damage on Cody. I think Cody's just another one of those cars just wanting to get off the alternate tires. Alex is on pit road, and he is out of the car, even though the car is repaired. That might be it for Alex for tonight. Let's get back up front. Mitch Welker still our leader.
Welker still holding about a 2.5-second lead over Alvarez, but last time by, looking at lap times, Welker with a 1:28.7, Alvarez with a 1:28.5. So we have gotten to the point where the black tires are going to be the preferred ones. Welker might be coming in relatively soon. Not this time, though. Still gonna be
there's
staying
Alvarez
out
right in the picture there.
Alvarez definitely within earshot of Mitch Welker as we come across the line. 2.6 seconds last time by, 2.2 now the margin between Welker and Alvarez.
All right, so we had a bit of action happening here. We got some cars that were involved in the top 10, no longer in the top 10. Let's go ahead and give you a readout now after about 12 laps. We're coming to the first pit stops here. Alvarez is P2. There's Christopher Hill and Nate Seifert. I believe these guys are teammates. I have to double check that. They were last season, and they were a pretty much an unbeatable team. That is the team champions from last season right there. P5 is Bruno Miranda. He is kind of happy that he got away from that mess behind him. Ramirez moving up to P6. I believe Ramirez, looking at his livery, he might be a teammate to, yes, he is a teammate to Alvarez. So this is a new team on the rise right now with two cars in the top 10. Caleb Bency, hello. He is not a FIS champion, but he's a three-time and defending RIL champion, and he is hanging out here in the top 10, P7, after also a good race in the Lionheart IndyCar Series where he finished 8th at Mosport. Yet another top 10 finish for him this campaign, keeping him, I believe, in 5th place in the standings. So that's pretty good. Welker on pit road.
Welker coming in for his first stop, lap number 12. So these red tires seem to have lasted a bit longer than you would have thought. Into his box. We'll see what he switches over to.
And he's going to the primes.
He is going to the prime tire, and it is indeed showing that on the screen. That glitch didn't happen this time. But Alvarez still staying out there, and the number seems to be 17. 17 laps thereabouts seems to be the fuel. Maybe 18 if you save, but we'll see what these guys have in store. As pit strategies start to unfold, a lot of the red tire runners will be coming in pretty soon.
Your pit report for your leader Welker, who re-enters the battle here at P15, 34.3 on pit road, 8.3 in the box. So a pretty efficient stop all the way around for our former leader, who is down 15th. You just got to see if he can work his way ahead of everyone else in front of him here, as we are quickly approaching the end of this first stint.
We are getting close to the end of it for the guys that started on the blacks. Welker now trying to see how he can make these hard compound tires work. He was very good on the res to start with. He made those money laps count. We'll see if he's able to hold on to the lead over Alvarez, or more to the point, can Alvarez catch him on the reds later on in this race when he indeed makes that switch.
Let's go back to P7 as we watch Nick Johnston starting to hold up quite a few cars behind him. In fact, I think Leedsma, who was right behind him, decided that he was going to take this opportunity just to hit pit road and get it over with since he was being held up. Goes into this pit stall, goes up on the jacks, down on the jacks really quick. Not sure what happened there. Did he get tires changed in time or what? He went up and down on the jacks like there wasn't even. Let's replay that real quick. Maybe we can get a better view of him on pit lane.
Oh, as I actually saw Christian Jasper have a moment there, but having a look-see about how quick that stop was.
He went up and down. I don't think he had time to get new tires on.
That would be strange, because going up on the jacks would insinuate that indeed you change tires and there's only one option. Change all four or none at all. So that is an interesting moment there.
There is your leader, Alvarez, followed by former champion here, Nate Seifert. Last year's champion is not entered into this year, so we will see a... Ooh! Alvarez kind of sliding through that chicane there. I'm sure these Prime tires are definitely well worn.
They have seen 15 laps on them. And Alvarez probably just... and probably having a rough time on the older tires right now. His last lap was a 28.9 to Nate Seifker's 28 even. Nearly a second faster with Seifker. The gap now just under 5 seconds. Let's see if Seifker can catch up to him. Alvarez,
they got a lap car in between them right now.
They do indeed. They have a lap car. I believe that is Logan Spaff between them. But the question I have here is, does Alvarez indeed come in a bit earlier to change tires than we would have expected?
There's Matt letting the leaders on by, so good teams, not teamsmanship, but a gentlemanship there from the boss man himself. He's had a bit of a rough race. He's back in 29th, 7 laps down.
Alvarez staying out this time. We'll probably see him go to 17 laps thereabouts, which is about the number we expect.
Did you think when he was behind, and he really wasn't behind Welker very long, but was he behind Welker long enough to possibly get that? Ooh, there's a car spun off there, I believe. Not sure who it was. But did he think maybe he had enough time to save for an extra lap, or maybe possibly the reason why he fell back is because he started conserving and conserve that way instead of staying up in the car's wake?
It could be, though. It may be a bit of a big ask, especially since, given how fast given how long that Welker kept going on the Reds, especially since he felt comfortable with the gap he had over Alvarez for a while, that may be a sign that he was saving a little bit to try and get to 18. But at the same time, I'm not too sure if saving it would be the primary call here. And we'll see if that was indeed Alvarez doing, or if that was indeed just raw pace that Welker was able to put out on the Reds on that first stint. Alvarez could well be playing it so that he's on the Reds for a fast run toward either in the middle stint or the ending stint of this race.
Let's see what happens. So he is bypassing pit road.
So at least one more lap, it would seem. One more lap, it would seem, for Alvarez and Nate Seifker, of course. The gap closing in a little bit. Seifker with a 28.2, Alvarez with a 28.5. So the gap about 4.3 seconds. Not enough to be a serious concern at the moment for Alvarez at the moment. But we'll see, and comparing it to the likes of Welker. Welker last time did a 28 even, I should say, as he crossed the line last time by in the slipstream of Rodrigo Munoz. So we'll see if this traffic holds him up. If that's going to be a hindrance, it probably will be.
Imola Grand Prix is brought to you by Midwest Kidney Warriors. Midwest Kidney Warriors is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that advocates life for those battling kidney disease. They have several kidney warriors needing a life-saving transplant and many who require a living donor. Please visit their website at www.midwestkidneywarriors.com or visit their group page on Facebook today. That's Midwest Kidney Warriors, sponsors of today's race. So right now, we got a bit of a Alvarez now is your leader, and it has kind of fallen off back to P2 for some reason, because Seifert now is showing 4.2 behind Alvarez.
Alvarez coming onto pit road.
Seifert on pit road.
In as well.
Hill on pit road. So, yeah, definitely teamwork happening right here. Let's see Miranda on pit road. Jose Ramirez, he is on pit road. Caleb Bency, he is hitting pit road. Nicholas Johnson's going to hit pit road. Gavin Sanders on pit road. Matthew Short on pit road. Robert Sadler, he is going to hit pit road. So everybody on pit road. And Mitch Welker bypassing pit road, and he's going to resume the lead right here.
Seifert jumps Alvarez on pit road. In fact, both of them, I believe, switched over to reds. Alvarez, yes, they both switched onto the red tires. So they're going to be going the black, red, black strategy here. The red tire seems to be holding up fairly well. So Alvarez and Seifert looking to take advantage of it, but Seifert getting the jump over Alvarez right now. What a stop by the number 2 crew. No kidding.
No kidding. Let's take a look at that pit report between those two. Seifert on pit road, 32.3 seconds. Alvarez on pit road, 36.8. So there was 4 seconds there difference, give or take. In the box, Seifert 6.4, Alvarez 10.5. So I didn't watch Alvarez's. I don't know if he misses marks or something, but yeah, considerable difference in time between these two. And while it didn't look like it on pit road, that's an easy jump for Nate Seifert.
No doubt about that. There probably was a minor error there by Alvarez, and it's a small error on pit road that can cost you a lot of time.
And 6.4 in the box is by far the fastest that we've seen any car so far. I mean, that is like 2 seconds faster than Mitch Welker. So I don't know.
Gavin Sanders. Sanders has lost it with netcode contact. It looks to me netcode contact with Nick Johnston sent him around, and Sanders seems to be out of the race with a broken rear suspension.
Yeah, and he just punched out, and another bit of contact for Johnson. So Johnson not having a good day, albeit netcode, and that happens from time to time. But now he has Matthew Short on his 6. That is was his teammate last season. I don't think it's his teammate this season. We'll see how well these two work together here. This is a battle for 9th. P11 is Angel Leedsma, P12 Rodrigo Munoz, P13 Robert Sadler.
And now, looking at the lead battle, the game plan is on. Seifert and Alvarez on the reds. Can they catch Welker? The gap now about 4.5 seconds, and with the fresh tire advantage that they'll have for probably about 10 laps, maybe around 10 laps or so, if the last run was any indicator, Seifert and Alvarez have got to make up the time now. Ooh. And that lap car they just made their way by.
Yeah, that's Drew White, and they just caught him at the wrong possible spot. Nothing against Drew White. He did everything to stay out of everyone's way. They caught him at the wrong possible spot. And you know what? I've been there, so I feel his pain. But when you got the guys this fast and they get up on you right at that point, it's like, what do? You want to do the right thing, get out of their way, but you don't want to wreck them as part of your actions. So Seifert now at speed, that time by a 1:26.3. A 1:26.3. That's his best lap of the race. That might be the best lap of the race overall. We'll check that here in just a second. Welker, a 1:28.6. So Welker, even though he is up the road, not that far now, 1.6 seconds, Seifert is eating into it. And there you see the battle right there as these guys are coming through turns 7 and 8.
That just goes to show how much of an advantage the red tire is on early on in the going. These are Seifert and Alvarez's money laps. This is the time for them to lay down the pace like they've never seen before, and that's exactly what Seeker has done. A 1:26.3 last time by, over 2 seconds a lap faster than Mitch Welker, and that seems to be holding on as they go through the Variante Alta down towards the Rivazia.
There you see the fast laps, the purple lap right there, Seifert, 1:26.351. That is your purple lap, and he just turned that.
Unbelievable lap times. That is only a few tenths off what they were running in qualifying. The pole time for Alvarez was a 1:26.058. Seeker on the button, using up as much as he possibly can. A 1:26.7 last time by. Welker still in the 28, and you can see it right there. You don't need me to tell you the gap. It's right there. As they head down towards Villeneuve, the second of the new chicanes that they added here in the 90s. And up towards the Tosa, slow left-hander.
So you're in Welker's seat right now. What do you do? Do you hold him off as long as possible, possibly let him go and let those reds wear out, and then catch him back up again? What's your plan of attack right here?
In this situation, especially since I have been on the Reds, I'd be playing a lot of defense here as much as I can within reason, of course. Of course, I don't want to wreck the guy and take myself out in the process. It's going to be a big ask, but playing defense here, maybe throwing him out of the draft a little bit, playing with the push to pass even for defense, because that is what some drivers can do, especially if you've been smart and you've saved them for this exact moment. You need to make yourself as frustrating to get by as possible. But here at Imola, especially on the long front straightaway they're about to come to, I can see that being a bit of a tricky situation for Welker, as once again, Diefker on the button again.
Yep, but we're in his right on the roll cage right now. Right above the driver's eye, there you see the green border around his pie readout there on the center of his dash, and he can't get any closer than where he is right now. And there's lap traffic in the way.
Lap traffic could come into play there as they get by.
That's Matt, and that's Matt Houston. He let him on by.
Houston lets them go. Seifert once again gets a run out of build-up.
Contact!
Welker the round, he punts him! Welker sent around there. He keeps it out of the wall. Is he able to recover? Yes, he is.
And we were on board with Seifert there, and that was a punt. He was trying to cut underneath him, and he made contact. And I don't think, regardless of what happens here to this victory, if it turns into a victory for Seifert, I don't think the stewards are going to look at that one very well, and I don't think Welker is very happy at the moment. He has fallen back to third.
Definitely some temperamental moments. Mitch Welker on the radio is not happy with Nate Seifert for that one, and understandably so, I would say. Unfortunately for Welker, he is able to recover. He doesn't have a meatball flag. He may have a tiny bit of damage there, but it could be negligible. We'll see what kind of pace he is able to hold as Seifert at the start-finish line as Welker makes his way out of the final corner, the second of the Rivazias.
All right, so we got
now with the race lead.
So we got a little bit of time. Let's go back in the Wayback Machine. Let's rewind here a little bit. Let's go back to the moment of impact. Let's see if we can get a bit of more of a sky eye. Let's check with TC up in the RaceVerse 1 airship and see what happened here, and see possibly what we didn't see from the. Let me find the blimp there. Yeah, there's a blimp. It's kind of a far shot, but this is what we didn't see when we were sitting on the roll bar there of Seifert's car. Seifert got a good run on him out of those last chicane. He got a little bit on the corner, out of the corner. Yeah, he just kind of cut down and spun him right around. Thankfully, Welker did a 180 and did not hit the wall there, and was able to resume. All things considered, minimal damage, of course, but yeah, not going to be happy.
No doubt about that. The gap now 8.4 seconds behind, 8.6 seconds, I should say, from Seifert to Mitch Welker, who has fallen back down to P3. Welker still has about a 7-second gap over Christopher Hill in P4, so he has a cushion to work with. And we'll see, looking at lap times this time by, if indeed Welker is struggling with a wounded race car here tonight. Siefker with a 28.3 as the tires start to even themselves out. Welker also with a 28.3. So it would seem to me that Welker seems to be holding on to the pace that he had before. But man, is he not going to be happy with the result here tonight. And I think if he holds on that P3 and he sits with us in the interview room, he may have some choice words to say for that moment.
24 cars currently running on the track. We have 22 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Christopher in that IAR entry. Matt Houston is currently shown in 28th. He is the last car running, shown 7 laps down, but he'll be making up some spots here relatively quickly as we've had retirements from Robert Sadler, Drew White, Gavin Sanders, and Ryan Hartage, and he will pass all those guys here in the next 2 to 3 laps or so, and that will move him up to 24th. So quite a bit of a third of the field already out, and we're not even into the second stint. And speaking of second stint, here comes Seifert on the pit road. Ooh, he locked him up, and did he speed? We're going to check on that one.
No, he does not have a black flag from that one. He got that down just by the skin of his teeth. But Siefker on pit road. One question mark I have here with this stop: will it be a long one for a wing change as he goes back onto the hard compound? So this will be the tire he stays on for the rest of this race.
25, let's see, he's still on pit road, so that will update here. 36.2 on pit road, 10.1 in the box, so he might have had a little damage being looked at there, but he rejoins in 9th spot.
Siefker rejoining, and looking at the laps, this is about the threshold we would expect for being able to run all the way to the end on fuel. So perhaps Siefker saw the tire fall off there and wanted to come in at the first possible opportunity to get himself to the end and not have to worry about the tire fall off at the end of the race.
And right in front of Siefert is a pretty good battle for P6, headed up by Caleb Bency, Michael DeTurk in 7th, and Nick Johnson in 8th. These cars are all within a second of one another, and they are probably due for a pit stop here relatively soon. Caleb Bency, 14 laps on his current stint. DeTurk, 7 laps on his current stint. And Nick Johnson only 6 laps on his, or excuse me, I'm reading that wrong. Caleb Bency 8 laps on his current stint. DeTurk 14 laps on his current stint. So probably we're going to see DeTurk peel off here at some point. Remember, he did pit a little bit early last time by on the red tires. He wanted to get rid of those. And Nick Johnson 7 laps on the current stint. So these guys about halfway through, at least the meat in the sandwich is the exception there. DeTurk, as he is about probably looking to make a pit stop here in the next lap or so.
Alvarez down and away off a pit road there is getting and Siefker does indeed come out ahead of Hector Alvarez.
Not by much though. I mean, they are right in contact with one another right on pit road. Alvarez on pit road 33.4, in the box 6.9. You compare that to the 36.2 on pit road and 10.1 by Siefert in the box, and now you see why Hector is all of a sudden on the tail of Nate Siefert.
Very good effort there by Alvarez, making amends for that slow pit stop earlier on in the race. Can Alvarez indeed catch back up to them? And the question mark I have here is, with Welker still out there on the hard compound, can he make this work and gain some time to stay with Alvarez and Welker after all of that, after everything he went through?
Well, we've seen spin-in wins before, and then I don't think I'm going to go back and think here in league history if we've had a punt and win, or punted and win. I had to go back and look at that, but definitely spin-in wins here before. So it wouldn't be the first time that the leader at the time of the incident had to overcome some drama in order to get that victory, and maybe we might see that work out for Mitch this time by. He is your leader by 10 seconds over Bruno Miranda, and right behind Bruno Miranda by another 10 seconds is Christopher Hill. Actually, Christopher Hill, sorry, is right behind Bruno Miranda right there. They're in the same 10-second bracket.
Miranda has indeed gotten around Christopher Hill just a little bit ago. Miranda in that number 77. We'll see if, and it's looking pretty solid so far. He had a bit of a rough start there. Two of the guys on the Reds managed to get by him, but he's been kind of playing it kind of quiet, especially after that earlier kerfuffle with Alex van der Sant. But he's been running very solid so far, and he's been picking off spots whenever he can. A pretty solid effort so far for the Juncos driver.
That is pretty much, and I think he could do, and he'll tell you himself that he could do without a lot of the drama on the race course. It always seems the MO for Bruno is get off to a good start, find a bit of drama somewhere on the racetrack, and then have to overcome said drama en route to a good finish.
Speaking of which, battling for 8th, Alvarez is there. He's right up on the gearbox of Nate Siepker. Siepker had a slow exit to the Variante Alta as they head out of Rabatza down the front straightaway.
Alvarez on the button, and he's going to get a run
right
here.
There.
There's a slower car coming off a pit road.
Car coming off the pit road there. This is going to be a rough run here. Getting squeezed out there. But Siepker holds on to the position. Alvarez, out of Tamburello, has a look to the outside going into Villeneuve. Siepker on the defense.
Worst possible moment to have a car coming out of pit road in front of you. And that's nothing against that. I believe that was Matthew Short, and Matthew Short did absolutely nothing wrong. He did everything right. He held his line. He didn't do anything rash, and those leaders came up on him, and they just had to make a decision. That, you know, where do I send the car? Do I run the guy over in front of me, or do I save it for another lap and another time? And right now, he did the wise thing by saving it for another lap because he's right there.
And speaking from personal experience, I will agree. That's one of the hairiest moments you could have here at Imola. A slow car coming off a pit road when you're battling for position going into the Tamburello chicane. And really, like, there was... what could you possibly do there? Alvarez still within earshot of Nate Siepker as they head down towards the final two corners.
Oh, he locks him up a little bit.
Siepker running wide there through the first of them. On the throttle, down the front stretch.
And those two cars in front of him, that's also for position. That is Nick Johnson and Caleb Bency. So that goes up to P5 at the moment if something should happen a little bit further ahead. So right now you're looking at a battle in the middle of the top 10 that is going to be pretty critical to the outcome of this race.
Absolutely, and Siepker still doggedly holding on to that position. And looking at lap times right now, they've been the 4 cars around.
He hit that bump. He hit the sleeping policeman really hard that time through there.
Hit the dreaded sausage curve there as Alvarez's nose is right on his attenuator through the Tulsa. Up the hill once more.
Almost gave him a Paul Tracy.
The chrome horn nearly coming into play for Hector Alvarez. And down towards the...
he hits the sleeping policeman again. Those curbs are vicious. And something happened to Michael the Turk. He is back and out. He is in an extended pit stop. He is well out of the order now. A little counter steer there from Alvarez trying to keep the car underneath him.
He's pressured him through the Tosa. He's pressured him through Aqua Minerale. Let's see if Alvarez can keep the pressure on him once more here. And they don't seem to be making much ground on the guys ahead of them with this battle here. Siepker with a bit of... as I'm seeing a bobble there from Bency. Bency ceding that position to Nick Johnston. I think he realized that that was just going to be too much for him.
Well, and Caleb is also 13 laps into the stint, so he is going to be on pit road here relatively shortly. Johnston is also... it's got a pretty bit on those tires, about just as long, but maybe hasn't been... here we go.
Here he comes, onto the outside again at Villeneuve. Again, Siepker holding on to it. Will the same thing happen here in the Tosa? Yes, it will. Alvarez forced on the outside there. Ooh, there's almost a touch there coming out of the Tosa.
And don't look now, here comes Mitch Welker, P8. He is 2 cars behind. There's Matthew Short, and we saw when they were rejoining the field with under that one pass opportunity we saw on the end car. He is right now currently kind of holding up Welker. Welker on the red tires. He is going to look to get around real quick and get back in this battle, but Mitch Welker can, and here he is. He's out. Oh, I thought he was going to take a look on the pass, but he could see his targets immediately right in front of him.
You can see it.
Oh, Matthew Short misses it. He's going to have to concede.
Cedes that position there.
Oh.
As always, a rough one off the Aqua Minerale. But Mitch Welker now has got some clear track ahead of him. He's on the red tires here. This is going to be his time to go for it, with everyone else around him on the hards. And this is around the time where you saw the crossover point here. Welker was able to hold on to the reds for a long time. This could well be the race-winning strategy for Mitch Welker. As we're seeing Siepker and Alvarez still battling. This is doing nothing but helping Welker. 10
to go, and as Sting the wrestler would like to say, it's showtime, baby. And we're seeing it right here, side by side.
Oh, it's trying to, again through Villeneuve. Had to look to the outside. It's so hard to stick that move on the outside.
Welker's there.
Welker is there.
The
Alvarez once again. Welker looking to get some payback, I would imagine, on Siepker, I would imagine. Hopefully not by punting him, but simply by getting by him and possibly winning this race here tonight. Christopher Hill scored as the race leader. Half-second gap between him and Miranda so far, but this is for the effective win so far.
Nothing against Christopher Hill, Bruno Miranda up at the front, Nick Johnson running in P3, Caleb Benzie P4. But this is this train is for the battle. This is for the win right here.
How Welker has been, Alvarez, I should say, has been able to keep his car out of Siepker's car is quite a testament to what he's able to do.
So we saw a very similar situation to this last night in the Monday night split, where we saw 3 cars battling down at the end. You had the leader constantly defending. You had the guy in the middle doing a little half and half, and then you had the guy in third do nothing but can attack. And here you go, side by side. Oh, on the button. I'm sure not going to be able to pull off this pass.
Little bit of a choppy move there from Alvarez, and once again, Siepker runs wide in the middle of the chicane. Oh, look at this. Alvarez, and Siepker backs out there. I think he realized that Alvarez was going to take that line, whether he was there or not. Once again, Alvarez
getting squirrely
coming out of the Tosa. Welker just playing it cool, I would imagine. Trying to pick them off one at a time here. Alvarez, again, they're going to try and be as annoying as humanly possible to prevent Welker from getting back up on them. And into the chicane there. Alvarez sending it on the brakes there, trying to stay with Nate Siepker. But Welker, it's getting closer and closer to the lap times that the guys on the hard compound are running. This is going to be a pretty close battle there as Welker sends it deep on the brakes into the Ravazza. And on the front stretch again.
And that's going to open the door for Welker.
Golden opportunity for Mitch Welker. He does indeed clear him.
Welker
now again playing a bit of defense here. Welker, does he defend to the inside? Yes, he does, going to the Tamburello. Onto the brakes, and he holds on to the position for now. Alvarez now has Mitch Welker to contend with in front of him. Will Alvarez have a peek into Villeneuve? A bit of a feint, but not quite enough to make any serious move. Move Mitch Welker up to P5 at the moment, but this is effectively for the lead of the race.
Hill, Johnson, Bency, 1, 2, 3 at the moment. 9 laps to go. Thanks for joining us. This is RaceVerse coverage of the Formula Indy Series, where we're probably watching the battle for the win right here. Even though it's a battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th, we still have 3 cars still probably yet to pit unless they've been doing some massive fuel conservation. And they are just fighting it out like jet fighters in Top Gun. And here comes Welker.
Look how close he caught up with Nate Siepker. He's still got the better rubber underneath him, this Mitch Welker. That number 76 has been strong all night, and now can he get back at Siepker for that punt he had here earlier and maybe make that punt and win a reality. As, ooh, Alvarez behind him, sending it on the brakes again.
And I believe there's Johnston and Bency making the turn down pit road. So now that brings us into, bring these guys up into the bottom portion. Oh, on the outside, here comes Mitch Welker. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Welker on the button. He's forced to go to the outside, though. Siepker swings out wide in the middle of Tamburello. Kind of thwarted that chance there.
Oh, here comes Alvarez.
From Alvarez. Alvarez sensing blood in the water. He can sense an opportunity from this as he's forced out almost into the kitty litter on the exit of Villeneuve.
Besides us right here and you at home watching, the best seat in the house is Matthew Short. That car right there, the number 35, who's right behind us. He is in P5 at the moment, and he is just watching these guys fight it out tooth and nail in front of him. He probably wants to keep a good distance just in case this turns into a 3-car incident in front of him, but definitely wants to stay within view because that is action I do not want to miss. Here we come. Is he going to take a look into the chicane? No, he's not going to, but all 3 of them are right there.
All 3 of them still within spitting distance of each other. Welker and Siepker. This is still the big question mark here. Can Welker sends it into the Rabatia.
And Alvarez follows him almost. Oh, he has a break up.
Beautiful move there by Nate Siepker.
No, Mitch Welker.
Mitch Welker, I should say. Welker, beautiful move there to retake 2nd place, and that could be the effective lead.
And that is because Christopher Hill's on pit road. That's right. He is now your leader, Christopher Hill, on pit road, and now we have a 3-way train here for the lead here. The Imola Grand Prix sponsored by Midwest Kidney Warriors, and Hector Alvarez disappeared, popped back in. That's not a good time to have connection issues.
Certainly not. Bit of a connection worry there by Alvarez. Seems to be holding steady for now. But the question now, Welker can indeed build up a cushion over Nate Siepker and get himself a gap before the red tires start to fade later on in the going. Because that still is a concern, especially with all the rough riding that they're having to do, trying to get them what positions they can and use up the tires for all they're worth.
All right, let's give you a push-to-pass report here about what's going on. Welker is actually in a pretty good position push-to-pass-wise. He has 3 left. Siepker is Winchester. He is none. He has no more bullets to fire. He needs to win it outright. Hector Alvarez has 1 more to go, and I'm sure he's saving it. If he's this close late in the race, he's going to save it for that last run down the main straight.
And speaking
he's
of
on
which,
it now.
Here comes Alvarez to the outside of Nate Siepker, to the inside now, going towards Tamburello.
And he pulls it off. He pulled it off before the corner. Oh, and he gets a little squirrely on the braking, but he still holds on.
Beautiful save by Alvarez, but that is a pass for 2nd place for Hector Alvarez. The pole sitter now trying to claw himself back up, maybe even if the tire wear goes the way he hopes, that he could catch Welker as his tires start to wear out a little bit, but no chance of that so far. Welker last time with a 27.6, Siepker with a 28.6, and Alvarez with a 28.3 when he got by him. So the red tires still seem to be that little bit quicker, and that is going to be what can seal the deal for Welker if he can hold on for the next 5 laps.
Seifert still has the purple lap, but that is little consolation right now.
Indeed it is. Siepker was looking like he could possibly win this, especially after that, shall we say, interesting battle between him and Welker earlier on. But now it seems like Welker, driving through sheer spite and tenacity, have picked up that from that punt all the way to the race lead once more. This has been a beautiful recovery effort from Mitch Welker.
Looking for 2 in a row here to start off his FIS career.
Starting off undefeated in 2 races, I would say that's a pretty good way to start your career in any given series.
5 laps to go. Real quick report of your top 10. Mitch Welker is your leader. Hector Alvarez is P2. Nate Seifert is P3. Bruno Miranda, he is about 9 seconds behind the leader at the moment. He is P4. Right behind him is Christopher Hill. Jose Ramirez, and this is the teammate to Hector Alvarez. He is a very solid top 6 here. So 2 of their team cars. I'll have to look up what their team name is here real quick, and we'll have to go over the team points and all that here. We've yet to do that real quick. Nick Johnson P7, Caleb Bincy right there P8, Matthew Short P9, and Rodrigo Munoz bringing up the tail end of the top 10. Your biggest gainer of the day is actually Frankie with the last name we can't say, up 17 spots. Rodrigo Munoz up 14 spots. Dylan Miglin, gosh, I always butcher his name. It's Dan Miglin. He is up 13 spots, up to P18. Those are your big gainers of the day. Real quick, while the battle looks like it is kind of stabilizing right here, let's take a look at the point situation. Welker is your points leader. He is probably going to make some distance up over Nicholas Johnson, who is in P2 in the points. Gavin Sanders, not a great day, and not a great day for the whole team, his whole team entirely. He is probably going to lose ground. Alex Vanasant, not a good day. Christopher Hill probably is going to make up some spots there. Liam Quinn, not a good day. Bruno Miranda going to make up some spots. Robert Sadler, not a good day for him either. DeTurk, not a good day. Short looks like he might make up some spots here as well. So still round 2, a lot of movement here in the top 10. Team points, here's what the team point situation looked like. Team Watson Racing by TWR is your leader by 1 over the team question marks, which they call themselves I call them Team Enigma, but 61 points. AAIR with Project 2 with 53 in third. Point behind them, Team Kamigoya Sunset Arctic with 52, and rounding out the top 5 is FBR Motorsports by TWR with a 36. Let's get back to the action here on the racetrack with 4 to go. So that is all going to be very fluid. Of course, we're only in round 2, so the points very likely to change drastically here in the first, I would say definitely first 4 rounds or so of this series, and then things will kind of start to settle into a bit of a pattern. But next week, we're looking at Nürburgring. So if you enjoy IndyCars on Formula One tracks, join us again next week at Nürburgring, where we might see, not to jinx him, might see Mitch Welker go for 3 in a row.
Oh, looking at the battle between Miranda's been forced off by Christopher Hill there in that battle for 4th place I was looking at earlier. Bruno Miranda and Christopher Hill went side by side into Tamburello, and contact made for sure. Hill got up on the sausage curbs, and Miranda forced out of it. He has recovered, but that's got to be infuriating to Bruno Miranda there.
Yeah, Bruno didn't give him much room, but Bruno did have the position, so he doesn't have to give that much room. But Hill gets away with the position. That moves him up to 4th.
We'll see what the officials have to say about that. We'll see what they have to say about a few things here tonight. But the battle for second still is fairly close, coming to 2 laps to go this time. Alvarez still holding on to the position over Nate Seifert. There's a lap car there that I believe was, trying to see who that was. That was the 21 machine. No, that was not Caleb Bency. I'm sorry, Caleb. That's, but that may have broken up this little battle here between Alvarez and Seifert for P2. The gap between Alvarez and Welker, 2.5 seconds. Alvarez was quicker than Welker that time, but it won't be by enough of a margin to mean much if Welker can hold on for another lap and a half.
All right, yeah. Hector Rivera's is on the 2Pi Racing team, Team BAT. He has teammates with Kevin Rivera, so Kevin Rivera finished in 31st. So it'll be a pretty interesting bracket of team points there. Someone from the podium and then someone, unfortunately, from lower down in the order, but that is his team. But that is an associated teammate, Ramirez, back with him. I'll find out what team that is. That is Ramirez and Carrera. That's 2Pi Racing, and they call themselves mid-pack. Well, Jose here is anything but a mid-pack in P6.
Ramirez, a very good effort for him tonight. He started 13th, and as you said before, currently in P6. There's been a lot of it taking advantage of the errors of those around him, and he's been quiet, but he hasn't made many mistakes. And that's, in many ways, is what you need for a consistent run. Very good effort to him as Welker, a cross-start finish, one more lap to go at Imola.
Team-wise, it looks like the team of Seifert and Hill, which is FBR Motorsports by TWR, is probably by far going to make the most ground up point-wise in the team championship with a third and possibly fourth place finish. But we still got a lap to go. Let's get it back up for the front. Here's Mitch Welker. First quarter of a lap, last lap, looking for 2 in a row to start off his FIS career. Got a little lap traffic in front of him. Right now, not an issue.
And Welker, what a recovery. You said before that we've had spin-in wins before. We've had a launch-in win in real-life IndyCar competition with Marcus Ericsson at Nashville last year. Now we can say that we've seen a punt-and win on iRacing. And looks to me, holding it through the Variante Alta. 2 lap cars in the way here. Welker with a 2-second gap here. There's not the biggest concern at the moment. Down through the Ravazza for the final time, and the punt and win seems to have become reality. Mitch Welker will make it 2 for 2 in his entire career. He wins at Imola.
What a drive. What a drive, folks. If you are impressed by that drive just as much as we are, you can do us a solid and definitely give a big thumbs up just like that to the broadcast. We would appreciate it, and I know Mitch would as well. That is a great drive. Great effort, great perseverance, great patience, and man, you have to control your temper and all that stuff, because we knew he was upset and he was hot before, and normally when you're upset in the cockpit, it normally exacerbates itself and it makes things just worse.
It usually does, but he used that frustration to good effect. He kept himself cool and he drove his heart out there. And that's what you need to do. Mitch Welker comes back with the win. Alvarez giving him a little salute, driving by. As Welker brings it around, and here comes Nate Seifert. Hopefully a little bit of an apology is in order for what happened.
Now, if we could only map hand gestures for our wheels.
You just know when something like that happens. You know there's going to be a request for a hand gesture that a bit less cordial.
Well, is it part of racing?
It is, no doubt about that. And I mean, hey, there's a saying here, and it's especially fitting given where we are, that there's a saying that all race car drivers are Italian. They speak with their hand.
All right, well, we'll watch this final lap, and let's take a look at tonight's final standings, and then we'll move to the interview room. There you see Mitch Welker, your winner. Hector Alvarez started from the front, stayed there all day long. Let's see here. Let's get that other Callum out of there. Yep. Stay there all day long. Nate Seifert, interesting battle up at the front. We'll see. Finishes third, but we're going to see what race control says. His teammate finishes fourth right behind him. Bruno Miranda, P5. Ramirez, Johnson, Bency, Short, Munoz. That whole battle for the bottom portion of the top 10, great all race long. Munoz with a very quiet run, but a consistent run to get him a top 10 for him and his team. Echeverria, Frankie with the last name we can't say. Pedro Quinones and Jeff Groff and Leedsma round out your top 15. Your top 20, Logan Spath, Cody Claiborne, Stouffer, Miglin, Aldrich. Your top 25 of Valenzuela, Jasper Houston, DeTurk, Sadler. Your top 30, White, Sanders, Hardage, and Vanessant. That's going to be a costly one for him. And Liam Quinn, his teammate, in 30th. And rounding out the remainder of the 35-car field, Mador, Rivera, Tucker, Bommersbach, and Flaum round out the 35-car field, and Dakota DeMay with the DNS. All right. Who is in the interview room? We got Mitch there right now.
Yeah, we got our winner.
We can probably bring him down right away here if no one else. Let's go ahead and get some video here of Mitch's car while he was and let's bring Mitch on in.
Yep, let's go.
Hey Mitch, we got you here in the booth. I see you on mute. There he is. Two in a row, my man. But hey, it wasn't without a little drama. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Get that out of the way first. Let's talk about the incident.
Well, I've yet to see the replay, so I can't say conclusively what maybe happened. But as far as I could tell, he tried to do the last second switchback to kind of surprise me to the inside. He just didn't quite make it over, and that threw me off the track there. So. I didn't feel like I moved under braking, so I think that'll be on him, but I'll have to see it for sure.
All things considered, you can't be too upset. I mean, you got the win eventually. You had a great final pit stop, and then on those reds, you just ran those guys down while they were spending a lot of time racing each other, and I think they kind of lost track of you, and then all of a sudden, you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. I found out pretty early on that I'd run the backwards strat to those guys, so it was a bit of a question mark early on. The end of the first red stint, the black tire runners were starting to eat into my advantage just a little bit, so at that point we knew we had to run a long full tank of black in the middle, and I get about 11 to 12 laps of red at the end advantage, and that's it was just about enough. So yeah, really happy that I didn't think the strat would work, at the beginning, like I said, but, coming around and them getting stuck in traffic after pitting onto another set of blacks, that really helped out, and them fighting. And I knew what I could do on the reds, and just had to make decisive moves and get it done.
Go ahead, Steven.
And that's one other thing I was looking at, was that it seemed to me like the reds lasted pretty well throughout this stint. And throughout the stints that you were running, it lasted came around lap 11 or 12, and they seemed to hold their pace for a longer time than I've come to expect here at this track. Was that something that you were playing at the whole time?
Well, in my limited testing I did in practice, I saw the black and the red tires doing relatively similar times. Besides the red would switch on quicker, you'd get a few laps of true hard advantage, and then things about even out. But I only did about 10 laps worth on each tire, so I didn't end up seeing what would happen beyond that point. So, you know, coming to lap 11, 12, seeing second place car, who was that?
Alvarez.
Alvarez, yeah.
Alvarez.
Starting to recatch me on the black. I knew at that point I had to adjust our strat, and I talked to Mike on the box, and we went for a black middle stint, and ended up with 12 to go at the end. That's kind of when we knew. That's kind of the amount that we knew we could get out of him, like I said.
And overall, I would ask this: your thoughts of racing Indy cars at Imola? Of course, Imola, well known for Formula One. How did obviously you seem to take to it pretty well. What's your thoughts on the configuration on this combo?
It's really good, races really well. I just wish the setup was a little bit more compliant. It was really pogoey and really stiff at the front, so it made it a little bit more of a challenge than I'd like. A little bit annoying at points, but overall, I'd be happy to come back here.
So far, basically, if you count the preseason that we covered, you're 3 for 3, but 2 for 2 officially. Your thoughts on the league so far, the level of competition, everyone that shows up every week, the car count. What are your thoughts so far, being that you're only a couple weeks into this new league for you?
Well, it seems pretty good. At least looking at queue times, everyone was really close. The front to back was only 2.8 seconds, I think. So that's really healthy. You get a full 33 car field at Imola is really astounding. I'm really happy with how this place is being run so far. We're obviously doing a great job with the recruiting and retention, and the competition's really tight front to back. So, you know, I really had to fight for this one, and it's really rewarding. So, yeah. So I'm really pleased.
Next week, another Formula One track, Nürburgring. I trust that you've done many laps there, but have you done them in an Indy car? What are your thoughts?
Not done many or at all.
Oh, really?
Car.
Okay.
I've my all experiences of the W12, so I need to get used to a little less downforce.
Whole different experience.
Yeah, but I don't see it as a challenge I can't surmount with a little bit of practice.
Well, congratulations on the win. The microphone is all yours. Go ahead. Any shout outs? Anybody you'd like to say hi to at home?
Yeah, shout out to Mike Hurley on the box. Like I said, he's always doing a great job for me on the IndyCar box, and just having that eye in the sky is so nice. Really a game changer. It keeps my head in the game, keeps me focused, gives me the right info when I need it. Just really helpful. Other than that, I guess shout out to the rest of the Project 2 team. Shout out to All American iRacers, all the unholy alliance, as we call it.
Yeah, we need to see more of those guys here, man. I love listening to a lot of those All-American iRacers in the Discord servers and some of the other races that they enter, that they make the final interviews with. So I like to see more of them here. So get on recruiting, see if we can get more of them here.
Well, Doug wanted to, but he accidentally scheduled over another league. So I think he's waiting. I think there's like a few rounds left on that one. He's waiting to finish up, and then he'll be back over here. So
all right,
hopefully that'll be it.
Here come the All-American iRacers, folks. Well, congratulations on the win. Extremely well earned. Every positive thing that can say you definitely did it on the racetrack, and then some, because you overcome a little bit of adversity. So congratulations on the win, and we will see you in a week as the points leader still at Nürburgring.
Awesome. See you then.
And we will drop him into the waiting room with Nate. And we will bring Nate in now. Let's get him. There he is. And I don't.
The other side of the coin.
Yeah, I was bringing Nate in here. Hey, Nate, we got you in the booth. Sorry, we didn't mean to pull you out of the waiting room there mid-sentence there. Very sorry. But congratulations on the P3. But let's just get to the elephant in the room. The contact that you had with Mitch. What happened there? What were you seeing from your point of view? And just about the rest of your race after that.
I mean, I've at least had the opportunity to go looking back at it. Real time when it was happening, I thought he was coming over. So I thought it was going to be either one very small lane or less than that when I did it. So that's why the move got made in the first place, and it was literally just the minorest of misjudgments by the looks of things. I mean, if I was half a foot further back when the move started, the contact would have never happened, and we would have moved on with our days. So that's unfortunate in itself, to have that happen. And then, but where was I going with that? But yeah, looking back at it, I think it was just a pure racing deal. I mean, it was going to be just enough for him to let me by. I barely touched him. So from my side of standpoint, I see it as a racing incident. Hopefully he didn't say anything too bad to me on the interview. Hopefully I'll be able to apologize.
No, he didn't.
So, yeah, I mean, to me, my side of the things, it was a racing deal. I'm sorry it happened, of course. Would I do that move again, though? Yeah, I'd do that move again. If you gave me 5 different times in that scenario to do that, I think I'd do it all 5 times, just a different way, maybe. So getting to that point, though, I mean, we were running P4 behind Chris there, and we were content with where we were. We knew we had to keep DeTurk and Van de Sant behind on the Reds there in that first stint, and then DeTurk felt like a rock there, so we got a nice little cushion between me and Chris to where we were running at, and then we went up. We did a strategy we haven't done quite often lately. We short filled, went to the Reds, so that's why we caught so fast up to those 2. And I think would I change what I did tonight with the strategy? No, we led laps because of it. We wouldn't have led laps if we didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a very slim, but we had a chance to win the race at the end there. I was 1 incident away from getting a drive-through. I was on blacks that just did not feel good at all compared to the first stint. So it was a very rough final stint trying to keep those 2 behind. It was inevitable, but we tried the best we could, and eventually they got by, and we'll stick with 3rd tonight.
Yeah, that's getting ready to what I was asking you about that pit strategy after the first stop. You actually jumped Alvarez and got out in front of him, and we noticed that your time on pit road was considerably less. So we were wondering what your strategy was there, and then the short fill, it seems that was the strategy. So that makes a lot of sense. Next week, moving to Nürburgring. We won't look at anything where you might start. We'll see what race control has an answer about that, if it's a racing deal or whatnot. But your thoughts on going to Nürburgring in the Indy cars. We've done this before in the FIS. It was a while ago. I can't remember if you were part of that season or not. I think it was season 1, and we had a big pile up at the hairpin at the end of the long straight. I'm wondering if everyone's going to learn their lesson. What about your thoughts on going to the Nürburgring in an Indy car?
Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend the next 2 rounds. Actually, unfortunately, I got a vacation scheduled for that first week of August. When the
2-week vacation.
Oh, where at?
Okoboji, Lake Okoboji in Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Iowa's natural lakes, as they call it. So, going up there for a family deal, and then next Tuesday, Tuesday after that, which is the Midwest Kidney Warriors round at Spa. Unfortunately, I have a prior commitment with Shane somewhere else, so I won't even be able to run that race either. So, my next round, I think I'm looking at, if I look at the schedule correctly, is Silverstone in the middle of August. So, hopefully we'll be able to, if there is one, hopefully a penalty, hopefully that's easy to pass in Silverstone. And if there isn't, hopefully we'll just go and try to win as many races as we can and be a spoiler for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Steven.
Well, overall, obviously that one bit of controversy notwithstanding there, you were also having a good battle with Alvarez for much of the race there. Getting pretty intense at moments there, and ultimately he was the ultimate victor of that one. But overall, what do you make of the actual racing you had here tonight at Imola? What do you think of it in an IndyCar?
I mean, Imola is a fantastic track. It is. It's a driving track, not a racing track, if you ask me. So I think, from the racing standpoint aside, I think it was actually pretty decent. We saw passes in different places, you know, where Mitch got by me. I think that, you know, it kind of surprised me, but not really at the same time how he made that move. So that was a really strong move from his side of standpoint. So, you know, the battle there, you know, those felt like 15 laps. I was trying to hold those two up, just trying to park the bus everywhere. That's literally all I was trying to do, is just park the bus and literally try to prevent them getting better exits than me. That's all I was trying to do, and keep it on the track, because like I said, I was only 1 incident away. So it's difficult to pass. I think the next you know, 2 rounds at least that I won't be here, it'll be easier to pass. So, you know, hopefully they have fun with that coming up in the near future.
Shout outs, anyone want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, first off, I want to thank the podium, the other 2 on the podium. Yes, you know, what happened. From my status standpoint, if they can move on, I'll move on too from it. Great racing to those 2 overall. Thank everyone who drives here. It was a great night, great turnout by the looks of things. Thank the admin staff, you know, for putting this on. Great group of people brought together here with those guys. Thank you guys for being in the booth, of course, and then I want to thank, of course, the Midwest Candy Warriors. Seems like we're sponsoring every race this season for the most part. But yeah, Midwest Candy Warriors is an excellent organization. You know, helping people find kidney care, helping people, you know, look for transplants, donors. Sorry. You know, helping people with tips and you know, helping them with references and sources to help them, you know, in their search for a transplant. So thank you to Shane and all those guys at the Midwest Candy Warriors for being on board for season 4 here. Hopefully we'll stick on the podium here, do this more often, and put in some good results.
All right, well, there you have it. Nate Skiford finishing 3rd tonight here at Imola. We will see you in a couple of rounds. Enjoy your vacation and drive safe.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, to say the least, a very eventful race tonight.
No doubt about that. It was spectacular all around. We have a surprising result, and the way we got there was incredible. And it showed off a lot of great talent. It just goes to show how far along this league has come. It's really cementing itself as a great place for a lot of talented drivers in the IndyCar community. And you saw it tonight. We saw it at Le Mans. We'll definitely see it at Nürburgring next week.
All right. Well, I don't know about you, but I think half the country is sweltering in heat, and that heat is just bypassing into my computer room. And I think I'd like to call us out of here and let everyone else tonight get off to a good start of cool drinks and a cool night, and just try to recover from this pretty oppressive heat. Seems to be almost worldwide, almost. I've been hearing about it over in Europe, getting hit with high heat, and certainly here in the middle United States getting hit with high heat. So wherever you are, please try to stay healthy, and please try to stay cool. And if you're starting to feel that heat is taking a moment, to give that heat a moment and just take a seat, settle down, and let your body recover. But that is going to be it here from Imola. We'll get on out of here, and we'll give everyone the first rounds on us.
Yeah, make it a good glass of Lambrusco.
So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from the Imola Grand Prix, sponsored by Midwest Kidney Warriors, is Mitch Welker. What the hell of a drive. Hector Ramirez with a great debut, and Nate Seifert finishing 3rd, and it'll be a couple weeks before we see him again. Join Steven and myself again next week as this series moves to the Nürburgring for round 3 of season 2 of 22 of the RaceVerse Formula Indy Series. Start time is 9 p.m. Eastern, roughly. Ring the bell and mark your calendars now. So that next Tuesday at 9 p.m. you don't miss it. That's 9 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube at youtube.com/RaceVerse. So as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support RaceVerse with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. So let us know what you thought of tonight's race, and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out more of RaceVerse's iRacing programming. Keep your browsers set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. RaceVerse, we are your IndyCar experts. We know Indy. Imola Grand Prix sponsorship paid for by Midwest Kidney Warriors. Midwest Kidney Warriors is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that advocates life for those battling kidney disease. We have several kidney warriors needing a life-saving transplant and many who require a living donor. For more information, please visit their website at MidwestKidneyWarriors.com or stop by their group page on Facebook today. For business inquiries to learn more about what we do here at RaceVerse, visit RaceVerse.com or follow all of us on Twitter. And I believe all of our Twitter handles are right there at the bottom of the screen. So for Stephen Larkamp, everyone at RaceVerse, I'm Gary Gotza saying to all, thanks for watching. And to all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us next week at Nürburgring for the next race of the Midwest. The RaceVerse Formula Indy Series. Good night.
Arrivederci.